are in 2017, that means that it is time for wrap-ups from the prior year as well as goals for 2017. So stay tuned to hear about all my statistics from 2016 as well as what I would like to do for 2017. Everyone, it is Samantha and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I am excited about today's video because we get to talk a little bit about numbers. As many of you may know, I'm an accountant and I love a nice chart and a good Excel sheet. And thanks to the lovely Brock who has created this wonderful spreadsheet for tracking your reading, and I used it all of last year. So I have some great statistics to share with you guys from my reading year last year as well as all of my goals for this coming year. So without further ado, let us get started. So in 2016, I read a total of 58 books. I had the goal of reading 100 books, but last year ended up getting away from me. It was kind of stressful, and then I started a new job, and my reading just kind of was not as much as I had wanted it to be. So that didn't happen. I didn't quite hit the 100, but I'm okay. 58 books is still pretty darn good. So in terms of genre and type, 10 of the books that I read were graphic novels, 5 were science fiction, 29 were fantasy, 4 of them were YA, 1 was nonfiction, 7 of them were classics, and 1 was a middle grade. So it was a pretty good range, not quite as many classics and nonfiction as I would have liked, but I'm hoping to rectify that in 2017, but more on that later. I read a total page count of 21,142 pages, which averages to about 58 pages per day, and the average page per book was about 371. In terms of the book type, the type of book that I read, 39% were trade paperback, 19% were graphic novels, 19% were hardcover, 9% was mass market paperback, and the rest was split between FlexiBound, library copies, ARCs, and audios. In terms of years published, the vast majority, as you can see in this chart, were published between 2010 and 2015. The rest were from the 90s and the rest of the 2000s, and the rest were prior to the 1960s. I definitely want to try and read more classics next year, but again, more on that later. In terms of star rating, my average star rating was actually 4 stars, which I feel like is a little bit high, but I guess I had a pretty good reading year of the books that I read, or that or I need to be more critical, one of the two. 19 of the books that I read were 5 stars, which is pretty astounding. That is definitely higher than last year. 3 of them were 4.5 stars, 23 of them were 4 stars, 3 were 3.5 stars, 5 of them were 3 stars, 1 was 2 stars, and 3 of them were 1 star for an average rating of about 4 stars. In 2016, I started 21 series. I finished 3 of them and 8 of them are ongoing, so clearly I need to get on finishing some book series. Although in my defense, some of them are not completed yet. Like, they're not all the books are published, so I do have that going for me. In terms of where the author was born, their country of origin, 32 of them were from the United States, 9 were from Canada, 10 were from the United Kingdom, 1 was from Australia, 1 was from New Zealand, 1 was from Israel, and 1 from South Africa. So I definitely kind of want to do the Read the World challenge. I know some people did this past year and kind of tried to choose books and then have the authors from a bunch of different countries. So I definitely want to try and do more of that next year and kind of be more proactive about finding those authors. In terms of books read by month, I read 7 books in January, 7 in February, 11 in March, which I believe a lot of those are graphic novels though. I read 3 in April, 4 in May, 9 in June, 1 in July, 3 in August, 4 in September, 2 in October, 4 in November, and 2 in December. So as you can see, my reading kind of started to drop off after March, which was about when I got my new job. So things got a little bit crazy in my life, but things are kind of a little more even keeled this year, not quite as much stuff going on. So I should hopefully get more reading done in 2017, but more on that later. All right, so that is basically it for my statistics for 2016. I know of the goals that I had last year, I did want to read 4 Dickens novels. I only ended up reading half of one. I only got through half of David Copperfield, so that was pretty disappointing. I also had the intention of reading 100 books. Of course, that didn't happen. I ended up reading about 58. I wanted to kind of diversify my book taste in terms of genre. I didn't really do much of that either. So needless to say, I didn't reach any of my goals in 2016, but part of that was because my reading really took a nosedive and dropped off. So I did have that going on, but in 2017, I'm hoping to make a few changes. So without further ado, let's jump into the 2017 goals portion of this video. So I have several goals for 2017, both for my reading as well as for my channel. So the number one thing I want to focus on is reading more for fun. It was becoming a little bit too much of a chore last year. Like, I was wanting to read just to get like the numbers, which is stupid and not at all what I enjoy about reading, and it was taking all of the fun out of it, which I think is partly why I started to get into like a book slump and not feeling like reading, on top of just having a lot going on. So this year I set my Goodreads challenge as 1 book for 2017. I've actually already beat it, and I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it at 1 book. I only set up a goal on Goodreads just so it can kind of track the books that I'm reading this year, but I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna read however many books I read. As long as I enjoy the books and enjoy what I'm doing, that's all that really matters. So I'm not really gonna focus on the numbers, which is what I did in 2015, and then 2016, for whatever reason, I was like more focused on the goal, and so I don't wanna do that this year. So I'm not focusing on how many books I wanna get read. I want to focus more on the quality of the books that I'm reading. This year, I also want to be more proactive about searching out books from authors from different backgrounds and different countries and different races, etc. I really want to be more proactive about reading books that feature diversity, so I definitely want to be joining in on the diversity readathon that is going on or will be going on and things like that. I definitely need to be more proactive about the books that I consume, because we as the readers are the ones that drive the market for change. If we want more diverse books, then we need to consume those books, and I need to definitely be a part of that as well. So I definitely want to be more proactive about finding those books and listening to people such as Christine and Joss and all of the other wonderful booktubers who put on the readathon and are very proactive in that community, listening to their suggestions and recommendations. I am again setting myself the goal of reading 4 Dickens novels this year. I really want to. Dickens is one of my favorite authors. I think I also only have 7 of his novels left to read, so I would like to get through several of them this year. I might lower it to 3, if I'm being realistic. I like Dickens, but he's definitely dense, and his books definitely go very slow, and I have to read something else with them, otherwise I will get in a slump. I still enjoy them, but they can definitely be a little bit dense to get through, so I'm actually gonna make it 3. I'm gonna try and get through 3 Dickens novels. I think that's much more realistic for me. I also focused on rereading last year, which I did fairly well with. I wanted to reread the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I got through pretty much all of them except for the Return of the King, which I'm going to be reading this year. And then I wanted to reread the Anne of Green Gables series, which I got through all but the last 3 books. So I did fairly well in that, not as well as I would have liked, but that's okay. So this year I definitely want to finish out the Lord of the Rings, and I want to finish the Anne of Green Gables series, but I also want to add 2 more rereads to my list this year, and that is rereading all of Tamara Pierce's works. She's one of my favorite authors, and I haven't read her books, all of her series, in forever, and I want to change that this year. And I also want to reread Harry Potter. It's been several years since I reread it, and I kind of want to see how my experiences as an adult have kind of changed my perception of the series, if they've changed at all. Plus it's just nostalgic for me, so I kind of want to do that as well. Another goal I have is to buy less books. I do enjoy buying books, but to be honest, I am running out of room. That is a real issue, and I want to support my library. I used to check out books so much from the library growing up. Like, they knew me by face and name, and when I would go into the library, they would have my books waiting on the counter, all of my holds, because I would call them to see if my holds were in. I was that person. So I definitely want to go back to using my library more because I'm running out of room, and sell more books back. Like, I have 2 bags to sell back at Powell's, which I'm looking forward to. And then just kind of being more selective with the books that I buy, I guess, was something that I would like to do. Buying books that I already own, but different editions I enjoy of favorite books and things like that. I also kind of was thinking about coming up with a readathon this year. I know there are a lot of readathons, but I have a hard time with readathons, so I kind of want to come up with a readathon that is for people who kind of suck at readathons like myself, but that's still in the works, so that may be something coming up. If you guys have any ideas, or if that's something you guys would like to see me put on, let me know, because I would definitely be interested to know if anybody else would be interested in it, and that would determine whether or not I go forward with that. And then in terms of channel goals, I definitely want to make more book videos this year. I was getting really burnt out on making book videos last year, and I definitely diversified my channel, which I'm still going to do. I really enjoy doing makeup videos and things that pertain to my other interests, so that's not going to change. But I definitely want to do more book-related ones, so if there's any book-related videos you guys would like to see me tackle in the next year, let me know, because I want to know what you guys want to watch, because you guys are the ones watching my videos, so I want to do that. I also want to be more proactive about filming book reviews this year. I was trying to do 1 to 2 a month last year, and I was really good the first half of the year, and then when my reading dropped off, I kind of tanked at doing book reviews. I definitely want to do more. I enjoy doing them, particularly series overviews as well as author overviews, so I'm hoping to do more of those types of videos coming up on my channel. I also want to bring back author facts as well as recommendation videos, because both of those were kind of lacking on my channel last year. And the last thing I want to add to my channel is more coloring videos. As you guys know, coloring is one of my favorite hobbies, and I want to do more more coloring related videos, kind of color with me videos. I need to figure out how to film those. I need to get the camera angles and all that correct. And other things like that. So I kind of want to do more coloring videos. I'm definitely not the best colorer in the world, but I have definitely through practice gotten better than it used to be. So maybe I can share some of those tips with you guys. We shall see. Or even do a video on some of my favorite coloring Instagrams, because some of those colorers out there are absolutely amazing. Like, they're just astounding what people can do. I suck at art in general, so, you know, I'm learning. I'm getting better. All right, guys, that about sums up my reading wrap up for 2016, as well as my 2017 goals for my channel and for reading. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it, see my statistics and what I'm hoping to do this coming year. You'll have to let me know if there's anything you'd like to see on my channel or anything you think I should focus on next year, or this year rather, because I would love to know. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.